can hold on to 9 months without needing to somebody else, I think you could too.
Everybody. Even though who you marry is not your dream man, you was happy with him for a few years.
What a wild season. What a wild finale. Let's talk about it. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for joining me. So the couples all go to the bar to celebrate their last night before the recommitment ceremony. And a few of them are there, but Gino and Jasmine are not there yet. And they start talking about Gino and Jasmine's open marriage situation with Matt.
And she's opening herself up to a huge problem, which is her feelings emotionally investing in another man.
Rob starts saying Gino's making a mistake. Jasmine is playing him and she's about to get away with something and he wants to call it out. Rob is still clearly upset with Jasmine because he believes Jasmine is the person who got him in trouble a few episodes ago with Sophie. So he's still holding on to that grudge and is taking his anger out on Jasmine.
It's what they want. If you don't agree, it's okay.
I agree with Julia when Julia says that this is their relationship. It's up to them to make their own rules. This is about them. So worry about your own relationship. Jasmine and Gino show up and everybody's asking them why they were late. They say that it's because they were on the phone with Matt and Gino tells them that he agreed to do the open marriage with Matt. Rob says that he doesn't think it's a good idea and Gino starts to explain that there was one thing he didn't appreciate was Matt telling Gino to be nicer to Jasmine.
There was some things I didn't like, during the conversation with Matt. He was just talking about our personal relationship between Jasmine and I, how I should be nicer to her.
And of course, Gino doesn't like that because he doesn't want to be nicer to Jasmine. I already like Matt. I'm already loving the way Matt speaks about Jasmine. And you could tell he just cares about her. He just sounds much kinder and more patient than Gino has ever been. So Rob says he's already telling you how to be with your own wife, that Jasmine and Matt already clearly have an emotional connection. You guys need to pick somebody else.
You said you're okay with her finding sex from somewhere else. Okay, find another guy. She's already known this guy. He knows too much about your relationship, and he's already telling her what's wrong with you.
Stacy chimes in and says she agrees.
I kind of agree with you, Rob. I feel like Gino feels pressured to accept this situation. I feel like Matt already has feelings for you, and it's a little too late.
Stacy says she agrees, and I was very surprised. I thought Stacy and Jasmine were very close, and I didn't expect her to be calling Jasmine out. I expect Rob, but I didn't expect Stacy. A few of them start saying they agree they need to find a new person who's not Matt. Eventually, they convince Gino to agree too.
If it's truly about sex, you're both starting from the beginning. You're both starting from the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. Matt's out now. He's out.
Jasmine gets so upset when she hears Gino saying it can't be Matt anymore, and she is just so in love with him. And I'm not mad at it. I'm actually really happy for Jasmine. Gino sucks. They're a terrible couple. Jasmine should be with someone else who's gonna have patience for her, who's gonna love her no matter how she is. And I could already tell Matt cares more about Jasmine than Gino ever did.
I've been married to this guy almost a year. 9 months, he hasn't touched me. He has rejected me. I've been faithful to Gino.
So Jasmine gets really upset. She starts cursing everyone out and explaining that she's been asking Gino to be intimate with her for 9 months and he hasn't even touched her. They can't even cuddle. Gino says no to everything Jasmine tries to ask him for. So what does everybody expect? Of course, Jasmine is going to look for love somewhere else. And I wish people would try to understand where Jasmine was coming from a little bit more instead of making it about themselves.
You have been here being judgmental. Everything.
Same time, 9 months, 9 months. If I can hold on to 9 months without needing to somebody else, I think you could too.
Everybody.
So Jasmine is at the table and Rob starts explaining that he's just so worried and so concerned about Gino. And I think this is just them pretending to care about Gino. Clearly we know Jasmine and Gino did break up. So they have a point, but It's not necessary to say, to call out. They should just mind their business and just worry about their own relationship. Sophie even said herself, seeing Rob have these extreme reactions is what turned her off. Who knows, if Rob maybe kept his ideas to himself, maybe Sophie wouldn't have gotten the ick from him, and maybe she would have even stayed with him. But seeing the way Rob gets, I'm sure it was just a reminder of why she doesn't like him. Who knows? Jasmine leaves and they all come back to the bar, and Sophie says, let Florian say what he thinks.
You embarrassing her with the
You just want him his wife.
Yes! What Gino is the problem, man. He's refused to touch her, he's refused to do sex with her, he's refused to sleep with her. It's Gino's fault, same as much as Jasmine's fault. Both in the wrong path.
For once, I am on Florian's side. I agree with everything he said to Gino. He did not disappoint me this episode for once. I'm actually liking him now, and I never thought I would.
You kicked her out
You
for
think-
Christmas. He's
I didn't kick her out, man. You got the
Yes!
story wrong, bitch.
You know what you're telling me?
No,
Tell me. Let's keep the story straight. Let's...
That she
Listen to
has-
me.
Okay.
Guys.
I'm not gonna take it.
Gino starts acting like he's gonna fight Florian, but he's really just putting on an act because he knows that all the bodyguards and everybody else are not gonna let Gino fight Florian. So he's just putting on this whole tough guy act for the cameras. Eventually, they all calm down and Gino and Florian kiss and make up. It's time for the recommitment ceremony. And Natalie, oh my God, the way she walked in, Natalie is such a character. I'm happy that she went to the commitment ceremony just for herself, and she looks really pretty. And I thought this was good for her. Natalie's committing to loving herself. I'm happy for her. So the recommitment ceremony starts with Stacy and Florian. And Florian didn't write anything down. And at first I was really worried for Stacy, but what he said wasn't bad.
I never think I'm coming here for the therapist, you know. I'm no like fan therapist. But actually helped me so much. And I appreciate you guys for helping me and you to be again together and happy. You're my priority in my life. You're my everything in my life. And I'm sorry for everything what I did bad to you. I love you.
I for sure thought that Stacy was going to break up with Florian.
But I'm not gonna leave you. I'm not gonna let the challenges in life and our roller coaster ride of a marriage break us up. If we recommit, you need to agree to respect boundaries and stay focused on our relationship. And I promise to you to listen more and talk less. I promise to trust you from now on and let God guide us to the perfect plan.
She chose to stay with him. I was really hoping Stacy was going to leave Florian and pick herself, but she stayed with him. My partner was right. She knew Stacy wasn't going to leave Florian. You know, she's going to give him another chance. Next is Rob and Sophie. Sophie decides to write a letter to herself.
Even though who you marry is not your dream man, you was happy with him for a few years.
I knew Sophie was going to leave Rob. You can tell she was going to leave him. Even by the previews, you could tell that she was going to leave him. He tried and he put a lot of effort, but they should have broke up a long time ago. As soon as Sophie didn't trust Rob anymore and saw that he has anger issues, she should have left him. But she decided to stay with him and she kept hoping he was going to change. And clearly he never did because he had an outburst the night before. Like Sophie said, she got the ick and it just made her remember all the other times Rob overreacted. So Rob decides to not even read what he wrote down. And I think Rob is just very petty and very immature. The least he could have done is be strong and just read what he wrote, even just for himself. They're not going to help each other grow unless they do really intense therapy individually and together, and they trigger each other. So this is very good that they broke up. And now it's time for Brandon and Julia. Julia pulls out the 2 rocks from the therapy exercise they did a few episodes ago. Julia's rock says parents. Brandon's rock says baby. Julia says that she agrees to do the second opinion, the fertility test for Brandon. And Julia's asking if Brandon will help her bring her parents to the US.
Did you will be do compromise and help me for doing this journey with my family?
I love you with every ounce of my heart and soul. Though it may be difficult for me, I want to help you in any way to get your parents to the US.
Both parents don't have to come to the US at the same time. Maybe that could be the compromise. He says he'll do whatever it takes to help Julia bring her parents to the US, which is exactly what I thought was going to happen. They decided to recommit. So Jasmine reads a letter, a very basic letter that sounded like she got that from ChatGPT because it didn't sound very personal. Sounded very basic.
And I find myself choosing you more and more every day. I promise you my unconditional love, tenderness, and undying devotion, and to love you, comfort you, protect you, and shelter you all days of my life.
She's just very over Gino, and she's just gonna still use him to either be on the show or just to keep providing for her financially.
You are committed to move forward with our open marriage agreement and our third person to be Matt?
Yes, I'm open to it, but we have to have in the rules that if you and Matt grow too much of a friendship or it's affecting our marriage, then I want to be able to avoid the contract.
And Gino decides to recommit because I think he's just using Jasmine too to continue being on the 90-day shows. So they recommit. Good for them. Wow, this was such a good season. I really enjoyed seeing the therapist. I really enjoyed seeing the therapy. I enjoyed seeing them learning, watching them, some of them grow. And it was just a really fun, exciting, super dramatic season, and I really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to see the next one. I'm gonna miss these people. I'm gonna miss them. I'm gonna miss James. James was such a cutie pie. I'm gonna miss him. He seems so sweet. They all seem like really good people, the therapist. So that's the end of this episode. And the tell-all, wow, the tell-all looks like it's going to be intense. Oh man, I really need to know what the heck happened with each couple. I can't wait to find out. I cannot wait for the tell-all, and I cannot wait to cover the tell-all here with you. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Let me know if your predictions were correct. I was wrong about one, Stacy and Florian. And thank you again. I'll see you next time.